A man stands above a burning valley. He does not shout. He does not move. He just watches. Qin Shi Huang was not yet a legend, not yet a monster. Just a ruler, learning what power feels like. Below him, soldiers march through smoke. Villages collapse into ash. People run. Some fall. No one looks back. He studies the silence after chaos. The kind of silence fear creates. The kind that spreads faster than fire. He wanted order. That's what he told himself. No more war. No more chaos. One empire. One law. One voice. But peace, built this way, sounds different. It sounds like locked doors. It sounds like whispers. It sounds like footsteps stopping when soldiers pass. The emperor breathes slowly. The wind pulls at his robe. Somewhere in the distance, a city burns brighter. He does not turn away, because he is starting to understand something. Fear moves faster than loyalty. Fear lasts longer than love. Fear builds empires quickly. And once you choose fear, you cannot ask people to forget it. The smoke rises higher. The army waits for his signal. The world below holds its breath. He lifts his hand. And in that quiet moment, a kingdom begins. But so does something else. A question that will follow him forever. Was he uniting the world or teaching it to tremble? He was once a boy, long before the fires, long before the armies waited for his hand. Qin Shi Huang sat on a throne too large for him. His feet didn't reach the floor. The crown felt heavy. The room felt heavier. Men bowed when he entered, but they did not fear him. Not yet. They whispered instead, behind sleeves, behind columns, behind polite smiles. The boy noticed. He always noticed. Servants avoided his eyes. Ministers spoke slowly, like explaining things to a child. Decisions were made before he spoke. Orders were given in his name, not by his voice. Power surrounded him, but it did not belong to him. He learned early. Trust is fragile in a palace. Kindness is mistaken for weakness. Silence hides knives. One night he walked the halls alone. Torches flickered. Shadows stretched along stone walls. Every doorway felt like someone watching. He began to understand fear. Not the fear of armies, but the quiet fear. The kind that lives in rooms. The kind that never sleeps. A boy like that grows differently. He listens more. He speaks less. He remembers everything. And slowly, something changes. He stops asking who is loyal. He starts asking who is dangerous. He stops looking for friends. He starts counting enemies. The throne no longer feels too big. The crown no longer feels heavy. Because fear fits perfectly. Years later, soldiers would wait for his signal. Cities would burn in silence. An empire would rise. But it started here, with a boy, alone in a palace, learning that power is never given. It is taken and once taken, it must be protected, no matter the cost. Was he born ruthless, or did the throne teach him how to become one? The boy is gone now. A ruler stands in his place, older, quieter, harder. Qin Shi Huang no longer watches from the shadows. He gives orders, and men move. Generals lean over maps. Messengers ride through the night. Drums echo across cold valleys. He doesn't speak loudly. He doesn't need to. His silence has weight now. The first city resists. Walls hold. Arrows fall like rain. Soldiers die in mud. He watches from a distance. No anger, no hesitation, just patience. More troops arrive. Ladders rise. Gates burn. The walls finally break. Inside, chaos, running feet, shouting, steel against stone. By morning, the banners change. One kingdom smaller. One empire closer. He studies the aftermath. Bodies in the street. Smoke drifting slowly. No cheers, just quiet. Victory feels different than he imagined. He thought it would sound louder. Instead, it sounds empty. But the next war begins quickly. Then another, and another. Names blur together. Cities fall. Kings kneel. Maps shrink. His armies move like weather. Slow. Inevitable. Impossible to stop. Some surrender. Some fight. It doesn't change the ending. Unity grows. So does fear. People begin to understand peace is coming, but it walks behind an army. He stands over a new map, almost whole now, almost finished. This is what he wanted. No more rival kings, no more divided lands. But every border erased was written in blood. And somewhere inside the silence, a question remains. Did he unite a world or conquer it until nothing could resist? The wars are ending now. The map is almost whole. And Qin Shi Huang finally has what he chased. Power. Complete, unchallenged. He sits higher than any ruler before him. No rival kings. No equal voices. Just one throne and one man. At first, the silence feels like victory. No more urgent messengers, no more battle drums, no more maps covered in red. But something else fills the quiet. Suspicion. He begins to notice small things. A pause before a minister speaks. A glance exchanged across the hall. A whisper that stops too quickly. He remembers the palace from childhood. The smiles that hid knives. The shadows that listened. Power didn't erase those memories. It sharpened them. He starts changing the rules. More guards at the gates. More laws. Stronger punishments. Not because rebellion exists, but because it might. The court grows quieter. Ministers bow lower. No one speaks unless asked. Order spreads across the empire. So does tension. Roads connect the land. Weights are standardized. Riding becomes one system. Unity, finally real. But unity built on control feels different. It feels tight, careful, breathing slower. The emperor walks through the palace at night. Footsteps echo behind him. Torches flicker against stone. He rules everything now. Every city, every soldier, every voice. And yet, he trusts less than ever. Because power solves one problem and creates another. When no one can challenge you, everyone becomes a threat. He stops asking who will betray him. He starts wondering when. The empire is finally united. But inside the throne room, the air feels colder. Did power protect him, or slowly teach him to fear everyone? He trusts the empire, but not the voices inside it. Qin Shi Huang listens as scholars debate. Soft words, old ideas, stories from the past. They speak of earlier kings, gentler rulers, different ways to govern, different ways to lead. The emperor hears more than words. He hears comparison. He hears doubt. He hears the past challenging the present. The room feels smaller, the silence sharper. He built unity with armies. But thoughts cannot be conquered the same way. Ideas travel quietly, faster than soldiers. So he makes a decision. Scrolls are gathered, cart after cart. History, poetry, philosophy, voices from centuries. The scholars watch. Some plead, some argue. Some stand in stunned silence. The fires begin at night. Flames climb slowly. Ink curls into smoke. Words disappear into ash. No cheers, no celebration. Just the crackling of burning memory. The emperor does not look away. Control feels closer now, safer, cleaner. But fear spreads differently. Not loud, not sudden, just quiet, and everywhere. Some scholars are taken, accused of disloyal thoughts, accused of dangerous ideas. The empire grows silent again, careful, measured, watching. Books are gone, voices fade. History grows thinner. Unity survives, but something else disappears. When knowledge burns, questions burn with it. And in that controlled silence, a final doubt lingers. Did he protect the future or erase the past to control it? He controls the land, the laws, the voices. But one thing does not listen. Time. Qin Shi Huang grows older in a silent palace. The empire obeys him. The world feels still. Yet his body keeps moving forward. He notices small changes, longer nights, heavier breath. A mirror he studies too carefully. Power promised permanence, but nothing around him lasts. Generals age, ministers disappear, new faces replace old ones. He begins asking questions, not about rebellion, not about loyalty, about death. Alchemists arrive with quiet confidence. Bottles sealed with wax, powders wrapped in silk, promises whispered, never proven. They speak of mountains beyond the sea, islands of immortals, elixirs hidden from ordinary men. The emperor listens, carefully, hopefully. He drinks what they bring, bitter liquids, metallic powders, strange remedies. Control has always worked before. So he tries to control time. Expeditions leave the coast. Ships vanish into fog. Messengers return with stories, not answers. The palace grows restless. Guards rotate more often. Travel plans change without warning. He no longer sleeps in the same room twice. He no longer trusts familiar paths. The man who frattened an empire now fears something invisible. Because armies cannot fight it, laws cannot command it, silence cannot hide from it. Death waits quietly, patient, unimpressed by power. He stands alone one night, looking at the dark horizon, listening to the wind. He built something meant to last forever, but he knows he will not. And in that quiet realization, another question begins to form. Can a man conquer the world if he cannot conquer time? He fears what he cannot see, so he builds something he can. Qin Shi Huang stands before the northern mountains. Cold wind, endless ridges, a horizon that never feels safe. He imagines enemies beyond the hills, invisible riders, future threats, dangers not yet born. Fear pushes him forward, stone by stone. Orders spread across the empire. Men are taken from farms, from villages, from families. They walk north in long lines, some barefoot, some in chains, most silent. The wall begins small, then longer, then impossible to follow with the eye. Hands bleed, shoulders bend, breath turns white in frozen hair. No one asks how long, no one asks how many. The emperor visits once. He watches from high ground. Workers move like ants below. The wall looks strong, permanent, unbreakable. But the ground beneath it tells another story. Fresh dirt, unmarked graves, labor that never returned home. The empire calls it protection, a shield against the unknown. The workers call it something else, a road that never ends. Still the stones rise, across mountains, across valleys, across human lives. The emperor turns away, satisfied. Fear feels quieter now, contained, held back by rock and earth. But walls do more than keep enemies out. They also trap silence inside. He wanted safety. He built endurance. He built something that might outlive him. Yet every stone carries weight, not just of earth, but of cost. Can a wall protect a kingdom? If it's built from the lives inside it. He built walls to hold back the world, but he could not hold back time. Qin Shi Huang travels far from the capital. The road is long. Dust follows the convoy. Officials ride in silence. Inside the carriage, the emperor grows weaker, breath shorter, skin pale. The man who feared death feels it coming closer. No announcement, no warning, just a quiet moment behind closed curtains. Then, stillness. The emperor is gone. but no one says the words. His advisors look at each other. Fear replaces grief. If the Empire hears, everything could break. So they hide it. The carriage keeps moving. Orders still issued in his name. Seals still pressed into wax. A dead man ruling from the road. Summer heat rises. Days pass. The smell begins first. Whispers follow. To mask it, they load carts with salted fish, wagons filled with rot, hiding another rot. Soldiers march beside the illusion, an empire pretending its ruler still breathes. They reach the capital slowly, carefully, quietly. Only then the truth leaks out. The man who chased immortality traveled home as a secret. He feared chaos, so they built one out of silence. He tried to control everything, even death. But in the end, his final command was never spoken. If power depends on one man, what happens when no one is allowed to say he's gone? He is gone. But the empire he forced into shape remains. Officials still follow his laws. Roads still cut across the land. Walls still trace the mountains. People live inside a world he designed. Standard weights, shared writing, one unified rule. Order, born from fear. Some remember the graves, the burned books, the silence he demanded. Others see something different. Stability, strength, a nation that finally held together. Both are true. That's the problem. He built unity with suffering. He built permanence with blood. Centuries pass. His name never disappears. Not loved, not forgotten, just argued. Was he a monster or the man who made a country? And if both are true, what does that say about power?